करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
So in the portion of three gunas, we said that those who are pursuing the path of spirituality should aim to reveal or express more of the sattvic quality, develop and more identify with the sattvic quality. Wherever there is tamas, we need to inculcate some rajas, and wherever there is rajas, we need to give it a direction towards sattva. This is the natural order of progression. When the person tends to move from tamas to rajas, there is every chance that he will get into this attitude of selfishness, which manifests as involvement, attachment and possessiveness. So simultaneously, as you gain knowledge and go along, you need to develop that sense of objectivity. Objectivity is the art of being a witness, ultimately being a witness to all of your experiences. So this was practiced by the king of Persia in the poem "Even this shall pass away." The king of Persia goes through different motions in life, various experiences in life, positive and negative, high and low. He was very much part and parcel of the society. And in and through all this, how he is able to maintain the objectivity, that is what is highlighted in the poem. This poem is originally a Persian poem, but the English translation of it by Theodore Tilton is outstanding. He is giving the same essence in about 7-8 stanzas, and in each and every experience, the king is given a counsel, given an advice whenever he sees what is written on his ring, and that is, "Even this shall pass away." The king is a person who loves fun and frolic. He is a person who enjoys life. He is a person who has a lot of wealth. So he is not shunning anything away, yet we can say he is sort of a man of renunciation, because as he is going through all these experiences, he is viewing it from a distance and not letting it touch the core of his personality, which is objectivity. So we'll listen to this poem. Maybe we'll take it up stanza by stanza.
Even this shall pass away. Once in Persia reigned a king who upon his signet ring graved a maxim true and wise, which if held before his eyes, gave him counsel at a glance, fit for every change and chance. Solemn words, and these were they, "Even this shall pass away."
So he's talking about the king of Persia who had graved a maxim on his ring. For every change and chance, at every opportunity, all that he needed to do was he needed to look at the ring, and the words that were written there were, "Even this shall pass away."
Trains of camels through the sand brought him gems from Samarkand. Fleets of galleys through the seas brought him pearls to match with these. But he counted not his gain, treasures of the mine and main. What is wealth, the king would say, "Even this shall pass away."
First he is talking about wealth. We said this also has a parallel with Bhajagovindam, where he is talking about the two main motivating factors for human being, which is acquisition and enjoyment. So acquisition is highlighted here. He got wealth from through the land, through the sea, from the main. So, Samarkand, near Afghanistan, and various places. But he did not count as gain. What is wealth? The king would say, even this shall pass away. So, wealth is definitely a factor in everybody's life, and now it seems to be one of the major factors in our lives. But what is wealth? Wealth is something which relates to our physical personality. It is a commodity that you can exchange for sense objects, physical pleasures, and that is the limitation of the wealth. Even relatively in the world, you cannot exchange wealth for subtler things like emotions. You cannot buy emotions with wealth. You cannot buy loyalty of your, let's say, servants by giving them more money. You have to give that emotions. You have to spend emotions to get emotions. You can, with dowry, maybe convince father to give her daughter in marriage, but you cannot win her emotions. It has to be with your emotions. In other words, you have to. It is reciprocal. You have to feel that love. Only then it comes back. It is very clear in case of all creatures that if you show emotions, it comes back maybe 10 times also. For which we need to develop emotions. So it is not very easy that I have wealth and therefore it is easy for me to get emotions. Not possible. You may get a security system, you may get people around you who will work for you, that's about all. And wealth cannot give you knowledge. Wealth can buy books. Wealth can get you seat in a college. Sometimes a reservation can get you seat in college. Sometimes poverty can get you seat if there is a quota for poor people. That's all possible. But that doesn't guarantee knowledge. Knowledge is gained by your thinking, your reflection, your thought process. You need to invest your thought in order to gain the knowledge. So if wealth cannot buy emotions and knowledge, how wealth can buy happiness? Not possible. So the king of Persia was very clear. He is definitely a wealthy person, being a king, and a lot of wealth has been accumulated also for his treasury, for his kingdom, and yet he remained untouched by the wealth, however much wealth he got.
Mid the revels of his court at the zenith of his port, when the palms of all his guests burned with clapping at his jest, he amid his figs and wine cried, O loving friends of mine, pleasures come but not to stay, even this shall pass away.
Next is the experience of pleasure. So he is not a person who is a renunciate sitting somewhere in the Himalayas. He is very much in the society. He is a person who loves fun. He has friends. He has other jesters and courtiers, and he has time to enjoy, to crack jokes, to have a party. This experience of pleasure makes us get involved much more. That is how it draws us into it. But as he is experiencing, one aspect of his personality is silently remembering that pleasures come but not to stay, even this shall pass away. What we experience as pleasure in the world is a meeting of similar frequency with the world. Similar frequency means the mind's frequency and the world's frequency match at a point, and that is what is the highest pleasure that we encounter. And then the mind also changes, world also changes. So Even if you encounter the same person, it may not give you the same pleasure. Even if you go to the same place again, it may not give you that same pleasure. Why? Because the mind's frequency changes. And sometimes the environment changes, various things in the world changes. So, it is a fleeting thing. Definitely it's a fleeting. In that excitement, we even do not know how to relish and enjoy how, as and when the pleasure comes. But pleasure has to yield and there will be pain also. And pain has to go away and there will be pleasure also. So this sukha and dukkha are part and parcel of what the world provides. It is a dvandva, it is a pair of opposite which comes in rotation. So every sukha has an end, which is the beginning point of dukkha. Every dukkha has an end also. So as you enjoy the pleasure, the king of Persia shows that how you must enjoy the pleasure. It is not that you go and meditate where there is a party that's going on. You be there, part and parcel of that, everything you enjoy. You dance, you can sing. But you understand that even this shall pass away. Pleasures come but not to stay. That was the life of Krishna. Wherever he went, he rebelled. But then he just closed the chapter and moved along to the next experience. So in that way, he was able to end the perception with perception in every experience. When you allow the perception to linger later, where the mind craves for the similar pleasure, it is wanting and craving which will lead to more of pain, more of longing, and then that leads to non-acceptance of the reality. So therefore, there is going to be much more heartburn. So you have to just accept things as they are, as and when they come, and just enjoy it and move ahead, ending the perception with perception. So this is with reference to pleasure. Now he is talking about the highest form of pleasure.
Lady fair as ever seen was the bride he crowned his queen. Pillowed on his marriage bed, softly to his soul he said, though no bridegroom ever pressed fairer bosom to his breast, mortal flesh must come to lay, even this shall pass away.
We recently studied this in Bhajagovindam, verse 3. It is talking about Pratipaksha Bhavana. Pratipaksha Bhavana is to view any object, particularly sense object, from the counter perspective or a different angle, from the opposite side, so that you get the full picture. Nari stanabara navi desham drishtva maga moha vesham. By seeing the navel and the breast of the woman, do not get into a frenzied delusion, says Shankaracharya. It is that which will create that excitement in a person. So he says he is only against what is given there as moga avesham. Moha avesham means a frenzied delusion which makes you fall for it and think that this is it, nothing more than this. This is called moha avesham. There is no taboo against all the legitimate enjoyments of the world, and that is part and parcel of our life. But when a person thinks that this is what it is, nothing more than that, then you must exercise caution, because everything comes as a package. If you want to enjoy the rose, you have to take the thorn that comes along with the rose also. That is what it is. So that doesn't mean you don't enjoy the rose. You be aware of the thorn that is there. You be careful in handling the rose. And only when it comes closer in your experience do you realize that. Otherwise, from one angle we don't see the full picture, and the mind imagines and it goes into some frenzied delusion. So, in that verse, Shankaracharya says, what is it that you are falling for? Just examine it. Etan mansava sadivikaram. It is a modification of flesh and fat, etc. It is just that. Imagine those things which you do not like constitute something which your mind falls for. How is it possible? That's like a magic. That is Maya, you can say. All this we can analyze in a class like this and we understand also. But when it confronts that, it goes into frenzied delusion. All the Vedanta goes out of window. It is that is the power. Swami Vivekananda explains Maya in this way very easily and simply. He says, it is from our own experience we know what it is. Every drunkard knows about alcohol and he feels also and he promises also that he is not going to drink. But when he confronts that evening in the club, he just cannot resist. So he says, do you need any more explanation for Maya than your own experiences like this? This is what. So we all know, we can understand, maybe we can take class like this, we can give lectures. But the moment you confront, that is why sages like Vishwamitra's life, we need to read carefully. They are educating us on the power of these. Gita says, Hyatato api kaunteya purushasya vipaschita. See, the person who is striving, yatato, yatataha means one who strives in the spiritual path, he is also subject to this sort of torture. So what is our chance? So we should be extremely cautious. This is what they are trying to say. So all those things, think about it, which we do not like are part and parcel of us sitting within us. Do you like when you spit out, that spit you don't like? Blood, when it comes out of you, you don't want to see. Urine, everything like that. All that is stored within us. And that is what is there inside every body. It may be packaged well outside with a nice cover of a skin. And this is what it is. So, the objectivity of the king is that he says softly to his soul, he said, he is enjoying the most beautiful woman pillowed on his marriage bed, but softly to his soul, he said, that is objectivity. What? Mortal flesh must come to clay. This is nothing but another modification of flesh. That's it. It should return back to that same matter that it is made up of. Nothing special about it. It is indeed a very, phenomenal study if you do this. How is it that that particular shape, that particular thing is able to create that sensation? It's phenomenal. And even this shall pass away. What is actually making a person enjoy this highest form of sensual pleasure? Even there, actually it is renunciation. Swami Ramatirtha proves it. You try to have this idea that I am enjoying there, you will never enjoy. It is only when you forget yourself that there is enjoyment there also. And this type of enjoyment draws all the senses into it. Your emotions also into it. So even in this type of experience, he is maintaining that objectivity, that even this shall pass away. It is natural, it is universal, it is there for all creatures, it is part and parcel of the body experience also. But you have to understand that it also serves a purpose, and even this shall pass away. This is what he experienced, and this is what he remembered through the experience also. Next he is talking about pain.
Fighting on a furious field, once a javelin pierced his shield, soldiers with a loud lament bore him bleeding to his tent. Groaning from his tortured side, pain is hard to bear, he cried, but with patience day by day, even this shall pass away.
Being a king, he has to undergo the other extreme of experience, which is fighting and resulting pain. In Gita and other places, we find that this knowledge is applicable for Raja Rishis. It is applicable for all, but much more than anybody else for them, because the extremity of the experiences that they go through is much more than others. In the height of luxury, they are there. In the battlefield, they are there. The body, which will be having all the ointments and unguents and chandan and other things, it will have blood all the time in the field. They may not even have proper food, and that is how the Raja's Kshatriya's life is. So all of us will be affected by the pairs of opposites, but their pairs of opposites seems to be from extreme. So they need this knowledge, or they need to be rooted in this knowledge much more. Here he is talking about the experience of pain. Pain is also something that will pass away unless you want to hold on to the pain, which is what the mind does. What causes pain is not the experience or the incident. It is you holding that pain. Your holding period increases the pain. You hold on to a small glass and you hold on to the glass like this in your hand for a long period. Your hands will start to ache. It is small weight, less than a kilogram, but you keep on holding it in a position, it's bound to cause immense pain. You have to just drop it, leave it, that's it. Who asked you to carry? So, the quantum of the water there has not increased in the glass. What has increased is the holding period. Exactly like that. Certain small things, somebody said something in the past or somebody said something in the early childhood, and you carry it for years together sometimes. So much of energy and heartbreak happens because of that. It's wasted. It's completely wasted. You just shrug your shoulders and move. So just as the sukha experiences will pass away, the dukkha experience will also pass away. Haven't you seen that the body also over a period of time it heals itself? No trace of any wound, any ulcer like that. But the mind tends to carry. See, animals also fight, animals also have this bitter feeling and other thing for a while, but do they carry it? No. In every animal there is this, when the season comes, the male woos the female. There are very many competitors, but that, let's say the female whale chooses the strongest male whale. And then what happens to the other whales then? Do they, grow a beard and sing some song or nothing like that? They will find some other thing. That's the natural process. If there is a drought season, they will be desperate for water. They will go here and there, they will walk, but they will finally find it. So this is a universal phenomenon, this pain. But animals don't carry, they don't have this revenge attitude. Though it is said some animals do carry memory, they are little more than others. But this attitude of revenge, this attitude of carrying certain things in your heart which is not worth that much time and memory, all these things we do. So here he has undergone physical pain, trouble in the battlefield. A javelin has pierced him. But at that point of time, it is hard to bear. There is no doubt about it. But with patience day by day, who has not got pain? Everybody. I mean, it's more or less everybody has pain. This world is also called as Dukkhalayam in Bhagavad Gita. So it is there, part and parcel of it. But with patience, day by day, even this shall pass away. In fact, in one way, pain is also a blessing of the nature. That pain reminds us that the thought process should be towards the higher. You maintain at least the status quo because of pain. Otherwise, if everything is in luxury all the time, where is the chance for you to think of the higher? It doesn't come automatically. The young Siddhartha was shielded by the king, by his father, away from all the so-called negative experiences of life like old age and death. But that did not make him a Buddha. When he confronted them and asked the questions, then he went into the path towards enlightenment. Then we got a Lord Buddha. So you have to face the realities of life. That is how it is. And there is nothing, wrong about it. It is in the contrast of pain that you even enjoy the pleasure. If there was no sun, you will not appreciate the shade. So each and everything is given to us with that aim, that purpose. Pleasure and pain must be part and parcel of life. And you need to grow over both. If only one type of food is, there are various tastes, right? If only a sweet thing is given and savory is not there, how can you eat only sweet? How can you eat only spice? How can you eat only bitter thing? It is an admixture of everything. That is why they even keep combination for chapati this has to be there, for rice this has to be there. That combination will work out. You cannot eat only rice or you cannot eat only chapati. Like that, life is also, for us, it serves with both. But objectivity is to accept them both and not get affected by both. That is the difference here. That is pain. Now he comes to the experience of fame.
Towering in the public square, 20 cubits in the air, rose a statue carved in stone. Then the king, disguised unknown, stood before his sculptured name, musing meekly, what is fame? Fame is but a slow decay. Even this shall pass away.
The king goes on a round in his own kingdom, disguised. There he sees his own statue. The poet says here, 20 cubits in the air. It is a very beautiful way of saying that what is fame is it's all there, insubstantial. It is in the air. Means it is imagined. What you feel as a solid reputation is illusory. Reputation is an idle and most false imposition, oft got without merit and lost without deserving, says Shakespeare. I think in Othello. So that is reputation. It's idle talk. Oh, that's nice, this is nice. You went to that hotel, it's very good. That restaurant is very good. Like that, it's idle talk. That movie, you should not miss, you should not miss. Suddenly one movie becomes very famous. Of God without merit, he says. Idle and most false imposition of God without merit. When it is not really worth it, it gets so much merit, and that is fame. And lost without deserving. When he is really established and he is worth of praise now, some rumor, something comes and it totally shatters the reputation. Overnight it goes away. Somebody says he took a bribe, some photo they publish, or they say there was some cockroach in the restaurant, in the kitchen I saw. So overnight all the reputation that you have built goes away. That is reputation. That is fame. Fame is more intoxicating than other intoxications, even more than sex, they say. That wanting to be known because it is directly connected with your immortality project, that you want to live forever. So you are really wanting to establish it. Every politician, let's say everybody, if they get a chance, they want to have a statue. But it's interesting that great rulers who thought they are going to be there forever. Saddam Hussein, we saw even in his lifetime his big statue in Baghdad Square that was brought down. It just vanishes. Quickly it vanishes. But it will stay maybe for a little more time. See, Krishna Jayanti was celebrated day before. That is Janmashtami. We do not know if Lord Krishna celebrated his birthday during his lifetime or anybody. Ram Navami we celebrate. Vedavyasa Jayanti we celebrate. All these are stalwarts. Their contribution to the humanity is forever. They will continue to live forever. They did not bother for name or fame. All others, according to that level, they will be staying for some more time. See, we may not indulge in personal analysis now, but it could be Mahatma Gandhi. His photo is there in the currency. Will it be there forever? We really do not know. It may not be there. But various things that you can do, you can have the media write about you, you can print your own thing in the textbooks, you can put up your own statues. All this will work, but it will only extend the fading away of the public memory. If you are part and parcel of them, why will they forget? And part and parcel of you, of everyone, is that Atma. If you have done that, Adi Shankaracharya Jayanti we will celebrate. Till the end of the world it will be there. But all other people who are aiming for this, they miserably fail. So, that way that king was very objective. He said, musing meekly, what is fame? Fame is but a slow decay. Instead of fading away immediately, you fade away in 20 years. That is called as fame. See, it is our own circle that we, at least in this class, I must have that, or in my office, they put up in the notice board something that person has achieved. The school notice board should put. So we want that recognition, that thing. So that will also pass away. That will various great players. Let us say Sachin Tendulkar had his period, extended period for we can say Virat Kohli now. But what happened to all the stalwarts of the past? Swamiji said when he went to Bombay Gymkhana Club, I don't know, some Modi old player, he was sitting there alone in corner of a table and having his drink. Nobody there. Imagine in his youth, in his prime of youth, there would have been many fans around. They would have sought his autograph. So, okay, that is the period. But in and through that period only, you put that efforts to get established in the reality. So when these things happen later in life, when fame goes away, when power goes away, you are not bothered because you are not dependent on them. That is the relationship with fame. Now finally, he confronts death.
Struck with palsy sore and old, waiting at the gates of gold, said he with his dying breath, life is done, but what is death? Then in answer to the king fell a sunbeam on his ring, showing by a heavenly ray, even this shall pass away. Theodore Tilton.
All the experiences in the life is over. He has sailed through everything with this remarkable objectivity. Now he is in the last stage of his life. He is in the deathbed. So he is saying, all the experiences I know. Life is done, but what is death? So even at that point of time, the answer came only from that same maxim. the heavenly ray, the sunlight fell on the ring, and he saw and he got the answer that even this shall pass away. What does it mean to us? It means that the death is also another experience. There is nothing to be worried about it or to be very afraid about it. It is a natural progression. When you take the left leg and keep it forward, then the right leg should come. Then only the left leg, then the right leg. This is the way in which we walk. Then it will maintain a balance. So when we said in the life, Sukha and Dukkha, like that it comes. Similarly, on an extended scale, you can say birth and death is also there. In fact, birth and death, we can bring it down to every experience. A person can be born in, let's say you go from here to Dubai, you are dead here and you are born there. And when you come back, then you are dead there and you are born here. So that is again a form of birth and death. But this we see as though happening in the same body. Even though the body undergoes change, we see it in the same body. What we need to understand is that a point comes where this body as a vehicle is not suitable enough to carry you any further. So at that point of time, whoever is wearing this body as a dress, he discards this body and puts on a new body. So therefore your experience continues. So therefore, even when your close ones die, you mourn for them and quickly allow them to go. Baitarani is a river. It is there in the Yamaloka. The Jiva has to cross that river. When we go to Orissa, there is a river called Baitarani there also. They have named it like that, but in our Purana and other things, there is a Baitarani river in the Yamaloka. The Jiva has to cross that and go after the death. And that is at least, I think that is up to that point is where Savitri chases Lord Yama with her brilliant speech and argument. So Swami Ramatirtha says, because of your attachment to your people, you constantly keep on crying. All the tears that you shed act like the Vaitarani river. For them it becomes difficult to cross over. Why do you want to stop their progression? They are, getting promoted and going. What's your problem? It is just that their evolution is taking them there. They have been together with you for some years in this lifetime. So this is with reference to viewing others passing away. But what about our own? We again go to the first chapter of this book where he says in the tributes to Vedanta, some have said that this is Vedanta is the solace for my life, Vedanta is the solace for my death. What is the solace? Solace is that preparation. It slowly takes you to the inner personality and makes you get established there. So you become to that extent objective about the physical body and what it goes through. So if there was a birth, there has to be death, otherwise the natural system will not function. So it's very phenomenally put like that. Think about it. If you want to continue in this body and it is extremely painful, extremely difficult, none of the senses are as sharp as before, a time comes where you yourself will want to go away. That is what it is. So, of course, when we will go to the portion of the reincarnation, etc., we will deal it in detail, but you can have this thought for you to think about that. Swami Ramatirtha says here that every death is like a suicide only. It's you who decide and you leave the body like that. This is the theorem. Then you can apply it in any rider, whether a person dies in an accident or whether a child is dead or even in the womb itself it is dead and born. All this riders will apply. But the theorem is this, that when you want to go, you go. That's it. When you deeply want to go, you go. So the king understands now that this is also one more experience. If he has finished all his journey and his vasanas are over, it is self-realization. Otherwise, he is going to be further born, and he will be born in a more conducive environment where his journey will take him further. This is objectivity. So, as we move from tamas to rajas, definitely the mind will get involved, definitely the mind will get attached and become possessive. So, parallelly, we must try and practice this sense of objectivity to view our experiences from the point of that it being an object and I am the subject. I have nothing to do with this. The real subject is I. The supreme I is me. Nothing else is me. Even my body is my possession. My mind and intellect are also my possessions. All the experiences of the world will touch my body, mind and intellect, but they will not touch me. That's what we studied recently in the same chapter. So that is the way to distance yourself from this. So the establishment in the Atma, the process is practicing objectivity. The ultimate state is the state of Sakshi. Now this leads to the next topic. Why the next topic is given here is, the topic is about the caste system, which we will use the term as Varna Vyavastha or Varna. Varna and Jati are the names that we need to understand from our Indian perspective. In English, for want of a better word, we can use the caste system, but understand it in spirit as Varna only. Caste comes from the Spanish or the Portuguese word casta, which was mainly used in the colonial rule of Latin America, which is to indicate the purity maintained in the lineage, in the bloodline. So it is strictly according to the birth out of the endogamy. That is caste. In India, it was not understood in the same way. It is treated as an evil. It is understood even by Indians because of a large amount of time where we have been fed this thought. Every system has its own plus and minus, but it is not as evil as it is portrayed also. We have given this example, I think, maybe during the Upanishad class. It's a brilliant example that if a person has to, he is, let us say, a sort of a woodcutter, or he collects various twigs and other things from the nearby forest. He collects a large quantity and he tries to bundle all together, and he puts a very big rope around it and ties it. Even if he ties it very tightly, if the couple of twigs from it fall, then the whole bundle becomes loose and everything falls and gets scattered. So he sees it according to the sizes he groups. Suppose if there is 1,000 sticks that he has collected, one is to tie all the 1,000 sticks together. Another is to make 40 bundles of 25 twigs each. Make small bundles, 40 of 25 twigs each. And all these 25 twigs together you put it in a big bundle. That is more, intelligent way of carrying. Here also, if certain things becomes loose, it probably affects that particular bundle, but the overall bundle will not get affected. This is what our rishis saw, and they intelligently created small bundles to keep the whole society together. Very beautiful and ingenious way. When one set of rule is going to be prevalent for all, within a generation it will go away. Even a system like Buddhism tried like that everybody should be non-violent, and because of that if they have to eat vegetarian food, it will not work. It will go against the very nature. There will be various kinds of people with various temperaments. How can you give one shirt size for all? That will not fit. So we see that where Buddhism is being practiced, they just follow whatever they follow. The official name could be Buddhism or anything like that, but none of those principles can be practically applicable. But we see on the other hand that how community type of living in various jatis, in various varnas, in various ways that has influenced various sections of Indian society uniformly. That is what is interesting. It is only because rules, regulations and restrictions were only given to certain aspect of the people, and they were relaxed and much more other rules were given. Like that it was completely decentralized. And each and every, another thought for us to think about is that even today when they are giving this matrimonial advertisement for marriage, we see that this particular caste, this particular community, this thing, they are still having. No doubt there is a vertical hierarchy also in the Varna. We are not denying that. Even Bhagavad Gita is talking about that. But each and every member of the caste community, they are feeling proud about where they belong to. How is it possible? There can be a general sense of superiority that a person can feel, a community can feel. There can be a general sense of inferiority because of the temperament, nothing else. They can feel. That is there. Nobody is maybe wanting to overtly suppress them, but it is a natural feeling that a person may not want to be, he feels comfortable being subservient, etc. That is possible. But if you give a chance for him, he will want to associate with his community. He is okay and comfortable to continue in his way of living. How do you explain that? Each and everybody feels a sense of pride. They feel afraid if their particular jati or their particular community people will sort of excommunicate them. So, there is a sense of belongingness. These are there even in Ramayana times, where Dasharatha, he is going to hand over the kingdom to Rama, but before that he makes sure that he calls the Pratinidhi or the representative of all the communities and takes a general consensus that Rama is acceptable for all, and everybody of course accepts a great personality like Rama. But that is the respect that is given. Further, we have examples of even great Maharishis. Jabala Rishi, has taken his name from his mother, who in normal understanding will be maybe called as like a prostitute. But he was called Satyakama Javali because he was a prepared Upanishadic student who knows nothing else except truth, speaking the truth, and he did not even hide his lineage or birth to the master when he was asked. Vedavyasa's father is Parashara, but mother is Satyavati, who belongs to the fisherman community. The greatest guru is Vedavyasa. His Jayanti is celebrated as Guru Poornima. Valmiki belonged to whatever caste we do not know. He produced the Adi Kavya. He is the king of all kings as far as literature is concerned. Rama, in his journey covering all over India, he accepts Guha as his brother, Sugriva, who belongs to the Vanara category, Vibhishna, who is a Rakshasa. So, as a representative, he has accepted everybody in between also. Shabari was a woman of the lower caste, so called, and Rama is ready to take the fruit which he has tasted. So, as far as Bhakti and Jnana are concerned, there is no discrimination. Everybody is an adhikari for that. We even see even stories where animals are adhikaris for that. They even show bhakti. We see that great sages and saints are there from each community. The Ramayana, which is written in all languages, you will see that there are authors who have been from Brahmin community also. There are people who are from the other Weaver community. Kambar was, but Tulsidas was from a great Brahminical background. Like that, you have find you from fisherman's background, the Malayalam author. So you see that when it comes to gaining that knowledge, absolute knowledge, when it comes to showing the devotion or bhakti, in fact, those who have bhakti are considered superior. In Mahabharata or Bhagavad, there is no equivalent of gopis who are all illiterate maids. In Ramayana, there is no equivalent of Hanuman, who is a Vanara. In Satya Yuga, whenever you talk of any Bhakta, Prahalada is the monarch under whom we are all the subjects. Nobody equal to him. He is a Rakshasa by birth. So, when it comes to Bhakti and Jnana, we said there is no discrimination. But what about karma? In karma, there is discrimination. You have to accept that. You have to accept that each and every... In fact, karma alone discriminates. What a person does is according to one's inclination, tendency, which is again part and parcel of his gunas. And the gunas tend to mix with the similar gunas. Bhagavad Gita says, Guna guneshu vartante, iti matva na sajjate. When you understand that the gunas will function, mix with gunas, will move along with the similar gunas, then what is there to worry? You don't get attached. As an experiment, imagine if there is an island where you randomly choose about 1,000 people and make them settle there. Everybody is equal now. We do not know who is who, but eventually over a period of time, what will happen? They will form groups among themselves. How will they form groups? Similar type of frequency people will mix with similar type of frequency. That's all. It's as simple as that. You will not find one giraffe, one camel, one hippopotamus all moving together. Giraffe will be with giraffe, zebra will be with zebra, impalas will be with impalas, and tigers will be with tigers. That's how it is designed. So when you have the mental temperament, that gunas tend to associate with similar gunas. So Gita again says, Chatur Varnyam Maya Srishtam. The fourfold Varna, Maya Srishtam, has been created by me. By me means by the Supreme Self. So here is a very strong indication that this is a natural order, therefore it is universal in nature. Yet, only in India we find it very sort of perfectly developed and evolved over a period of time. In other places also, there will be some system of hierarchy, there will be some system of division, but probably it is not as perfected as it was in India. It is interesting to note that the concept of slavery, as we see, it is much prevalent after the Islamic invasion in India. It was very much prevalent in all other civilizations. In Bible, we do not find even Jesus Christ or Saint Paul saying anything against slavery. In fact, they glorify saying that in Greece and all, 10% of the people were sort of the higher ones, free. Many of them were slaves. You are fortunate enough to serve your master. That is what is given to those who are like slaves. We don't find like that in our Indian history. The term das and the term slave are not the same. And in this context, we can say that do not use these terms. In fact, the term slave comes from Slav. Slav are those people who are in that Slav region. Yugoslavia and all was there in that region. Those people were treated and sold as slaves who don't have rights, who are treated as properties of those who own them. So there was some system, whether it is a perfect system, whether it was a bad system, we do not know, but some system of hierarchy that was there. There was a system where that aristocrats were there, rulers were there, traders were there, various categories were there, even in other civilizations. Even in old Greek literature, we find the legitimacy given to having a slave, etc. But the system of Varna here is something different, and it needs a very a deliberate understanding, because what we see and understand now is completely different from what it was. And the influence of the British contributed to a very great extent to its present position now. So we will continue on this and deliberate further in the next class. Any questions, you can unmute and ask.
I have one question, Gurukripa.
Yeah.
Just that this Varnashram was well established compared to in other countries in India.
Yeah.
What made you think that it was well established in India?
What made you think that it was
well formulated or well established here in India?
Oh, why was it well established?
Yeah.
Okay.
How it is so different from the other countries? So.
Yes. See, it is only because they understood the natural way of system according to the gunas, which are quite natural in their own expression. So it is not like a man-made system as in the other case of the laws. They were able to bring out the codes of law which was there naturally existing. So at every point of time, the custodians of the system, who are being the human beings at various levels of their own consciousness, they tend to either corrupt the system or make the system rigid, and this also happens from time to time. We are not free from blemishes, that is clear. But time to time internal revivals have happened by the great masters who have also appeared. So the answer is that it is based on the natural mobility and the dynamism of the gunas, that understanding was much more greater and deeper in this country, and that's how it was able to do. Here is again a thought for us. Islamic invasions, when it happened from Spain to Persia and other regions, it is a matter of 15 years, maximum 20 years, that all the societies were converted and easily converted. But they had to wage war after war after war for centuries together before even they could come up to Sindh and Afghanistan. So what really resisted? Think about it. What really resisted? How was this resistance finally broken? By the brute force of Islamic invasion, that is one thing. Second is, what could then also hold strong the Indian society? How did it further degenerate and it was broken during the later British invasion? These are food for our thought. So then you will find the inherent strength in this Varna system which has held the society together for a longer period of time in our civilization. Thank you.
Poornam Adah Poornamidam Poornat Poornamudachyate Poornasya Poornamadaya Poornamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.